Welcome everybody to our first check-in for the EdChat NZ MOOC. This space is created so that we can more easily catch up if you get behind. If you're just curious about the MOOC, it means you can check in and just see how things are going. Every week we'll start inviting in some guests as well, people who've participated in the MOOC, to give us their opinion about how things are going as well. So this week, just to get us started, I thought I'd take a little quick tour around the software that we're using, give you a little bit of a recap of how that works, and also just touch on some of the ideas that we're trying to get at in the first 2 weeks of this course. My name is Danielle, I'm the course facilitator. This forms a big part of the EdChat NZ community, so for the last 3 and a bit years, we've been working on various projects to help teachers, educators, students, anyone who's interested in education have deeper discussions. So this MOOC acts as a next step towards that in that project. So the first thing that we're going to start with and just have a quick look at is just how some of the screens are set up. So at the moment you'll see our week 1 course, so most people have kind of gone through that. So I just want to use that to familiarize you if you haven't seen all the features yet in the software. So I qualify the software that we're using is developed by Open Polytechnic, and they're constantly refining the process. So we're in one of the units for the week now, so just so that you're aware, these small icons next to paragraphs, if you click on them, open 2 options. The first option means that you can start a discussion about that paragraph. What that means is that any given paragraph anywhere in the MOOC can turn into a discussion. So once that's actually happened, once we go to it, we can go to another page where we can go, so what are you thinking? You can see that this icon has changed color, and it means there's been a little bit of a discussion there. So you can see people have kind of started to talk a little bit more about this particular paragraph. What it means is that all content in the MOOC becomes a potential place for people to go, actually, I'm really interested in what this has said, and you can go deeper with your discussion. It means that your discussion doesn't just have to be limited to what in-course activities might be, but it means you can actually go further and have a huge range of other places. So I do encourage course participants to use that. The other function that you see here is note. What it means is I can make a note and I can tag it. Once I've saved that, it means that later on I can review my study notes. So all the notes that I have made, I will be able to see here, and I'll be able to just search via tags. So very quickly it means that any content, any thoughts I've had, I can catalogue. It also means that for people who are interested in keeping up their teacher portfolios, means that there's a really easy way to collect evidence as you go. For those people who are interested in getting the badges for this course, it also means that at the end, when we reach the end, you'll be able to just pull your notes together for the final activity, accreditation, certification for this course. Some of the other features that are worth being familiar with is the talk button. That is where we can make in-course announcements, but it's also a space for participants to start a discussion, contribute to extra discussions as we see fit. At some points during the course, there may be some assessments. However, assessment works a little bit differently in this course, so hold tight to see that in action. If you click on the logo top left, it will take you back to the main page where every week a new card appears. So every week you'll have a new card for the latest section of the course. The progress that you see measured around the outside is not measured based on your completion of activities, but rather is a measure of whether you have been through the various pages. What we're looking at here is a page in the week 3 section. As you can see, somebody has started to talk about that particular paragraph. So if I click on that, the discussion will open. You'll also notice in the course that there are often activities that are not very complex. They're just a check-in for you to check how you're going with particular material, whether there are new concepts being introduced. There is also, as far as possible throughout the course, a range of resources, which means that you can access the same ideas through either video or through text or possibly through podcasts in some places. This means that whatever style of learning you prefer, you should be able to access that. You should also be aware that with responses at the bottom of pages in the discussions, you can give them a thumbs up. It means that you can sort the votes. So for example, if we head back to our week 1 course, and we head to introduce yourself, by clicking on votes, we can see the most voted. So as we head further into the course, we'll be able to see which post really attracted quite a lot of attention. Finally, of course, one of the great features of this software is that this tab on the left, even when you're on a mobile device, is completely accessible. So what it means is the software is actually designed to be used on a mobile phone on the bus, whether you're in the supermarket queue, right from there to a full computer screen, which means that all of the content should be completely accessible from your mobile smartphone. So for those of you who are joining us a little bit late into the process, you should also be aware that there are additional resources included for every week. And all the resources within the course are Creative Commons or free access on the internet, which means that the course was designed so that if you're interested, if it's something that you know a colleague would be interested in, a family member, it means that you can pass it on. None of the content in this course is meant to be kept a secret. Hence why we've got open access Google Hangouts as well for this course. Finally, you should also be aware that we have study groups that have formed around the country. So these are usually in places where somebody has sent around an email to the entire school or a number of schools in some places and said, hang on a second, there is this course happening. How about we all get together and do this together to keep motivated? If you're interested in that, you can sign up on the EdChat NZ blog, on the EdChat NZ website, so you can still join the MOOC if it's not too late, but you can also register your study group. For study groups, every week there is an additional activity included so that you can dig a little bit deeper. It also will help your motivation and your time management. Lots of research has shown us now that one of the big things that factor into why people do not complete MOOCs is because they struggle to manage their time. Yes, adults struggle to manage their time too. It's not just the teenagers and young students at school. That concludes our first check-in session. We'll be joined again next week. We will start to talk a little bit more in our 15-minute catch-up session about the content. So our first 2 weeks really focused on just getting to introduce each other, just getting to know each other, and a little bit more around ourselves outside the snow globe. So often when we think about school, we think about it from our own experiences, and we're very subject to what's been going on. However, we're trying to step outside of that in order to really get at what the future of school might be. So that was what week 2 was focused on, and week 3 takes that a step further. So those in the MOOC will notice that there's a significant step up this week. They won't be all as big steps up, but this week is a particularly important week, and I encourage people to actually take the time and explore it, particularly around Egan's work here in Egan. If you're interested, we'll be posting our resources in the pond as well shortly, so that if you're not interested in taking the MOOC, but you are interested in following up on some of the resources, you'll be able to find those in the pond within the next week. Concludes our first check-in. I hope we see a few more people join the MOOC, because that is a pretty rare opportunity to really discuss in depth some of the changes that we might want to see in education, some of the things we might not want to see in education, but just thinking and having a space to really talk in depth about what the future might hold for us or what we would like it to hold. Thanks for joining us.